Hello and welcome to round number 4 of the 2022 season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. The second half of the year, of course. Tonight with a mod at Fern Gold, the fake Topo Cup, which is a slightly less powerful TBO car with a lot of grip, it seems. It's got a big wing, a lot of downforce, and it's been providing some entertaining scenes during the practice session. We are on the 290th round of the Rony Tuesday Fun Race series in Live for Speed, of course, still sponsored by the World Class Lions team. We're forever grateful for them for sponsoring the season, this year. Eoin Harmon joins me is joining alongside me in the commentary box as normal. Eoin, how are you?
I'm keeping well, Pete. Thanks for asking, and how are you?
I'm good. Let's get on with today's show. Let's see, what have we got? Well, we are at Fern Gold, which is a very, very, very popular combination, of course. 3.5 kilometres, 2.2 miles, and we will enjoy a 22-lap race this afternoon. We have had we are currently enduring a 60-minute qualifying session, of which we have 8 minutes remaining. We'll show you the dying moments of that as soon as we get through our... I guess we call these the admin of the series, don't we, Eoin? Let's have a look at the calendar and see where we've been and where we're going, because we do know the next combo, which you might be interested to know, is going to be the XRT at an RGE-ified, a race green version of Rockium ISSC. But tonight, all focus is on this new mod, the fake Topo Cup. And let's talk a little bit about it, Eoin, because it does seem to be pretty good. The drivers are enjoying it. We have some close times so far in qualifying. Here it is, a 1.6 litre inline-4 front-wheel drive car weighing just over a tonne with 180 brake horsepower. And look at that rear wing. That's the thing we're going to be talking about a lot. That's the thing that's been giving us some entertainment so far in the session. Eoin, what do you make of it so far?
Yeah, from the views I have in qualifying, the car looks extremely nimble. That downforce is helping out a lot. I've seen drivers hitting the curbs even just in the last few moments. If they hit them very heavily, the car is going to go onto two wheels, and hopefully the drivers can catch any moments like that. Yeah, it looks like it can run very close to one another. It's got great turning, and even with the low brake horsepower in comparison to other cars we've seen this season, it looks like you can do pretty respectable times.
Yeah, it certainly does. This mod was made by Dornado, and we are going to see, what this car is made of in just a moment's time. First of all, though, let's take a look at those all-important championship standings as we head into round 4 of the second season of 2022. And it is Sidus Gabor leading the way with 69 points ahead of Fatal, who currently tops the timesheets in qualifying. Spoiler alert. Then it's Rick Cardle for Sidus in P3, Unite in P4, Yoni Catella P5. Then we've got Samuli, Lorenzo, Koivunen, Rony and Magic rounding up the top 10. And I believe we have 2 pages of results to show today, as that is where the championship is up to. 35 cars scoring at least 1 point so far in the first 3 rounds of the championship. And I think this number is going to grow somewhat, Eoin, because we have currently got 37 connections on the server, which I believe is the most we've had this season.
Yeah, 37 eligible lap times. Everyone should be within the cutoff point. So that's as high as we've seen it so far. I think the welcoming ability of this Topo mod means that more drivers are willing to give a shot. And yeah, we'll be definitely looking forward to seeing more names on the leaderboard by the end of this evening.
Yeah, hopefully. And obviously, as the summer nights grow longer and we head into autumn and winter, we do expect participation to increase once again. So we're getting into that sort of realm and that territory. So we can't wait. Let's get to qualifying. We've talked enough about this stuff. Let's go and see what's happening on the track, Eoin.
Yeah, this delightful Fern Bay combo. We'll see a Fragmaster's car currently occupying pole position, but that fearsome purple squad of Sidus, they're still giving it everything they've got in the last 4 minutes to snatch that pole position from Fragmaster's Fatal. You can see just how close it is. 3 drivers have a 1 minute 27. threshold time, and then loads and loads of 128s. That's what we like to see, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what we want to see here today. But we've got a Sidus complete block out there at the top. I mean, positions 2 to 5. That is impressive. Well, I wonder if anyone else is going to even get a look in tonight, Owen.
Yeah, past performances, I'd say no. It'll feel like the top 5 drivers will be the firm favourites to go on and compete for victory. But I do suspect that there'll be plenty of other prizes up for grabs, particularly in the top 10. There are a wide variety of names. No one stands out. And then no one really has their teammate to help them like we have with the Sidus drivers. So yeah, great variety of people there. Covenant there in 6th place. Then following him, it's actually Teemu Soini in 15th. He's the 2nd best world-class Lion, and let's take a moment to salute Teemu, as this will be his 200th entry into Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. Considering how many races we've had, 290, that goes to show how committed he's been.
Yeah, and don't forget that the 290 number, that transcends a lot of years. So, Teemu Soini, you can work it out. There's an RTFR every 2 weeks, and he's been at 200. So, yeah, take a bow. Teemu, that's a big commitment. Rony gave us that stat, didn't he? So, yeah, hopefully he can score a good result today.
Yeah, fingers crossed for him. But obviously, the drivers in between the world-class Lions, we've got Loco, Luke, and Tehemuli, all very, very competitive there in the top 15 or so. But the premium space on the track, loads of drivers want to get their final or even first lap times in to try and maximize their position. Loads and loads of traffic, and that could spoil some lap times.
Yeah, he's fatal. I don't think he's gonna. Well, what's he doing here? Is he gonna warm up for one more attempt? I think he is trying to find a gap. No, he's bailed. Actually, he's left. So that's it. Fatal will not improve his time in this session. There's not enough time for him to exit the pits and get back around. So that pole time that he has set there is his effort. 500ths of a second separate him from Botsy. Then Rick Cardle's a further 200ths behind, and then Unite and Gabor. What is that? They've pretty much they have the same time. In fact, they have the same lap time, so that's fairly impressive. Pekka Koivunen best of the rest in P6 currently, and I wonder if he can make an improvement. He normally likes to put in a last-ditch attempt in these sessions and climb the order, but I can't see him out on track currently.
No, I'll have to double check that in the listings or whatever, but you get the sense that any driver with probably 200, 300 meters freedom in front of them and behind them, like Much McCarry here, I think he should be satisfied. And LG Meese even more so, plenty of space, but he's got to make the line with 32 seconds to go if he wants to make sure he can do back-to-back laps or get that time registered.
Yeah, this really is it now. Texas will get another lap if he wants it to. The Master Race Car driver heading up towards the first couple of corners. This is going to be pretty tricky because, as you mentioned in the pre-show, Owen, you can get this car up on 2 wheels. Those curves aren't the biggest, but it can still pitch the car up. So you've got to be careful. And I think you mentioned that you thought the car looked kind of similar in style and similar in handling to kind of a Vauxhall Insignia / touring car. And I think this firmly fits into the touring car category. It's a great looking thing. I do like the agility, as you also mentioned, of this car. It's going to provide some wheel-to-wheel, bumper-to-bumper racing.
Yeah, it's definitely got that saloon car aesthetic that I think is probably the most enjoyable when it comes to touring cars. I think they're the most suited to looking that mixture between fast and powerful, but also something you see on the roads every day. This car definitely boasts that style and indeed the performance as well. Tallenberg now has a lovely go faster racing stripe. He will hopefully break his personal best. Yeah, he has, but no position gain, unfortunately. It's a 129.98, which is just behind that car in 32nd.
Here comes Texas. We saw him start the lap, and he does improve. He improves to P14 there. We'll have to wait and see who the final car will be. Not many cars left to set times.
Oh, an improvement for Arska. P10 for World Class Lions Arska, so he will be within a few rows of his teammate. So that'll be a huge momentum boost there.
Onan will be the final car across the line, and in fact, yeah, I think that is everybody. We have a complete grid of cars. Everyone has now set the time, and let's get a rundown of the order then and see where everyone lines up for the start of the 290th Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. We're getting close to the big 300, Owen. It's not going to be this season. I think it will be very early in 2023 when we see that number hit. But it is Fragmaster's Fatal who manages to outqualify 4 Sidus drivers. That's an achievement in itself, I'd say. And it's a comfortable lead at the moment, 500ths, which some people might think isn't comfortable. But you know, if you've got that pace advantage and you've managed to set a time that quick in an hour qualifying session, then you've got to feel pretty good going into the race. Fatal hasn't had it all his way this season, so it's still going to be a tricky battle, especially with 4 Sidus cars, as I mentioned, behind. Botsy, Rick Cardle, Gabor, and Unite will round out the top 5. And then we've got Pekka Koivunen, who didn't improve on his time at the end, but he starts in P6, ahead of Loco for Born to Race, Leandro 911, Luke, and Arska there in the top 10. Then we've got Ona, Thamuli, Lalarux, Rony himself, Texas, Nali Luca. Then we've got Timu Soini starting his 200th RTFR. Then we've got Magrio, Lurcy, and Lorenzo.
Moving on to the next segment of the grid from 21st down, it's MRC's Kig, 136 miles per hour, Yari Katila, 12 Bananas, Iron Donny, Moti Makari, Tazka, Michael Malik, Magic, and T-Bug. They are in the top 30. They'll be followed by Rayman, Doctor, Tallenberg, Tatayem, Denialator, LG Mies, and Mikhailo Yefremov.
I think Denialator might be one of my favourite names I've seen. I mean, what do you reckon?
That sounds great.
Sounds pretty good. He's denied LG Mies and Mikhailo Yefremov. So, you know, a good start. But he's got a few more cars to deny, so we'll see how that transpires. A 130.95, so some time to find to be competitive. But like we say always in RTFR, there's always someone to fight. And if you fancy getting involved in this championship, then there are going to be opportunities for you to do that. There's going to be several more this season. We'll have, what will we have? 6 more rounds after this one. Next time out in 2 weeks with the XRT at Rockingham Extended. Rockingham ISSC Extended is called. So very interesting to see what happens there with the XRT. The XRT is tricky at Rockingham. So yeah, all eyes on that in a couple of weeks' time. Back to tonight, though, we have, 6 minutes to go before we grid up for the start of this one. So we'll be back in just a few moments' time. Do not go anywhere, folks. It's going to be a good one. Hello and welcome back to Sim Broadcasts for this round 4 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Season 2 of 2022. I'm Peter Butcher, Owen Harmon is alongside me, and we've got 1 minute to go before the lights are going to go out for the start of this race. Owen, we have a Sidus lockout from 2nd to 5th, but it was Fragmaster's Fatal who managed to convert a stunning lap time into pole position for the start of the race.
That's correct, yeah. Fatal pretty much has to play his own game. Nobody in that baby blue to give him the backup. He'll just have to get that getaway spot on. And then turn 1 to turn 4, they can be very dangerous on this combination at Fern Bay. I'll be certainly watching to see what the Sidus drivers feel the need to do. If one of them has a plan to make sure if anyone's going to be in the lead, it'll be me, or if they just adjust on the fly, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully in about 10 more seconds.
Yeah, the grid is set and we are ready to go racing. We've seen plenty of touring car starts in real life as well as in LFS, but it's always a bit scary when there are 37 of them. We've got 33 on the grid currently, so a few down from where we thought we might be, but still, it's going to be a good effort. 34 now on the grid, in fact. Fatal prepares to dump the clutch and get going as we go green. A bit of a hold, but there you can see the full Sidus drivers behind.
False start for Fatal. That's his nightmare, I'm afraid. Botsy's away clean, 3 wide, 2nd to 4th place. And Fatal has to back off and allow Rick through as well. Gabor's through, leaving just Unite in his correct livery in 5th place as a hold on.
Yeah, great to see them all snaking through that first chicane as you make the run up the hill, and Fatal already down to 4th place with an inevitable drive-through. I'm not sure how significant the jump start was there, Owen, but it should just be a case of heading through the pits.
Yeah, just it's unfortunate one of those things, but if you're caught jumping the start, the game is going to catch you out for that. There is a car stationary and facing backwards. It's Lurcy just completely stalled or something, but we'll concentrate now on Arska on the inside line, taking on Leandro 911 with Rony and Lalaru watching in the background. Mugrilio there just behind, a little bit too far back though to do anything about this. We'll see as they enter the difficult right-hander there for the first time.
Yeah, Arska's been forced offline. That's going to allow Lalaru to pop through, and Rony using a livery. He always likes to create liveries for these races with the mods, which is nice. It's also easy for us to spot him as well. A lot of the drivers today choosing to use the default livery of the car. As we've got a car stationary, that's a car that did not start, as far as I'm aware, just stationary on the grid. So someone away from there. Oh goodness me!
Oh, that's a dive bomb. Oh my goodness me! That's Born to Race car. Nalia Yuka. Yeah, that was just a huge lunge from quite a long way back, and even a bit of seconds as well. So that's pressure on Arska and everyone else in between.
Yep, some big dives. We thought that would happen into turn 1, but now that it's been a lap, they've kind of got used to the car, and now they're stretching their legs as everyone drops a wheel onto the gravel there. That's not going to help them down the straight, but here we've got Magria who's lining up the back of Rony, and it's going to be a case of, can Rony hold this down towards the next double left? Has a tighter entry into the apex, but he's got it. We've got contact further behind as well. Lorenzo involved and slowing.
Yeah, that's a concern there for Lorenzo. He's running a different form of the RTFR car. Must have just put all green paint onto the scheme. But yeah, Fatal has not given up here. That's hugely encouraging. And as a matter of fact, there's Tallenberg, who must have just reset his car from scratch. Will be lapped by the Sidus duo that's going side by side. As a matter of fact, you can just see on the quarter panel there, Rickard on the outside line. Botsy, though, maintains the lead and will have the priority into the chicane.
Yeah, Gabor is right there, but he's got some work to do this afternoon if he wants to get past his teammates who have outqualified him. And Fatal's not going away either. He's got a penalty to serve for his jump start, but he's right where he needs to be, so it's not over for him yet.
Yeah, so now we've got Rick still hassling his teammate, so all cooperation out of the window in this early going. It's Rick on the inside this time. B for turn. That'll be 9 and 10. So new leader Rick Hardle with lap 4 approaching. Gabor will also be nip and tuck here as turn 11 is offering an opportunity for Fatal to go on the inside. There's contact. That's Gabor going to have to use counter steer on the grass. Well, it's definitely live by the sword, die by the sword there. Huge bump takes Fatal down a peg.
I don't know about you, but I feel like that was avoidable. I don't know whether Gabor knew how much overspeed he would have when he rejoined. Yes, Fatal bumped him off, but I feel like the brake pedal could have come in quite handy there. Yeah, I don't like to see that at all. But you are correct in your statement there, Owen. But let's see what happens about that. That was not fun.
Oh no, it's devastating for the excitement of the top 5 battle. But beneficiaries include Koivunen, who's now in 3rd place. Luke is 5th. So Gabor will still be able to carry on in 7th, but Fatal, I think, has suffered really badly with suspension damage. He can still carry on at this pace, but any more I would fear for him. Lala Rue is now on the screen, who has Mugrillo behind. We'll see what can be offered here. Turn 8, very tricky, 90-degree left. That grass on the outside is always a threat, grass and gravel. And now we've a 2x2 battle here. It's the Hevmuli versus Leandro. Now that's what has to be avoided, this side-by-side contact. Oh, Leandro, very courageous on the brakes, and Fatal is just trying to nurse the car through the most difficult portion of the circuit for these low downforce bends, 12, 13, and now the final chicane, 14 and 15. And Leandro's going to get through. No.
Fatal was trying to go into the pits, and he wasn't in the right position, and it gets pit manoeuvred into the pit lane. It's gone from bad to worse for Fatal, but he didn't position his car very well coming out of the final corner. There was a car trying to make a move on him, Leandro. Oh my goodness me, what a day for him.
Yeah, this is as horrendous an effort that, you hope from top pole position he would have been able to get going, but unfortunately it's just gone from bad to worse. And that could be game over.
And we're now confirming that Fatal did not have a jump start. It was someone else further down the grid. Fatal just had a tardy start, essentially, so no penalty. So our excitement about that at the beginning of the race was unfounded. So we apologise for that. But he has pretty much, he's pretty much out of the race now, as he's in the pits repairing damage as Gabor came back onto the circuit straight into the side of him. That may need to be reviewed after the race. I don't know. We'll have to have a look at it because it didn't seem all as straightforward as just being pushed off. But we'll see. We've got a big squabble here, Owen.
Yeah, name. Oh
my goodness.
Hemuli gets it wrong. And the tagging Lorenzo back into Lala Rue. And Lala Rue was able to get the car turned sharply at a low speed.
Yes, did you notice that?
Yeah. Meaning that Michael and everyone ahead can carry on their entry to the corner. So yeah, that's another disappointment. Turn 11 really proving a threat to these drivers today. And is that a hardware failure? Yeah, Nalia Lukia for Born to Race just surges off the track and has to disconnect.
Yeah, unfortunate. Well, we were promised a touring car race. We've got that and a bit more here tonight, Owen. But we like a bit of fun. We like a bit of action. We're seeing a bit too much of it but yeah, we'll try and keep some focus. We're down to just 29 cars. We're currently watching Leandro 911, who's been mugged a little bit this race so far, and he's trying to get back past McGrio, and he's got a good shout at doing it here onto the back straight. A little bit far away for a move, but Rony up ahead might cause a blocker, and Leandro might be able to take that place back, but he got bundled by Fatal into the final corner on the previous lap. Michael versus Asker here. Michael in the red, Asker in the blue, and Asker currently leading that one, so he's managed to find a way through.
Yeah, Lalarue will be watching to see if he can make up some positions that at this very corner were taken away. Michael has left an opening there, in fairness, just outside this shot of Tazca, who is chasing Iron Dunny. Feels like Dunny has severe damage to his front left, but LFS can sometimes make the cosmetic damage look really, really serious. But no, he's driving absolutely fine and just needs to avoid the opening there. So drivers seemingly not feeling the desire to defend those inside lines.
Well, it's not just that, Owen. This car has... Some drivers are able to go really, really aggressive on the brakes, and the car does slow down. Yeah, you're right. Donny would have been a bit surprised by that, but now he has a bit of breathing room because Tazca has dropped right back into the clutches of Asker. Asker really is on the move here, and he needs to get past this other red and black car as soon as possible.
Yeah, that explains my point very well. The powerful brakes. Yeah, we do see Daredevil attempts to move by.
Like this.
Here's another example. Tazca versus Arska. Yeah, it's now a case of the longer double apex 9 and 10. That will keep them at arm's length for a little bit longer now. Turn 11 coming up on board here, demonstrating that Arska cannot use too much of the curb, or else there'll be trouble with the front wheels getting launched. But he's doing very nicely here. Final chicane is cleared, so now a chance for Arska to pick a side and go for it. Tazca commits to his line. He's not going to move away from it. Arska now has the inside. Who is the most courageous on the brakes? It might be Arska, yes. So Tazca just runs a little bit too far.
Well, I think actually Tazca was more courageous on the brakes. He went too deep into the corner, but yeah, there we go. Better traction in the end from Asker, and he moves himself up to P15. Meanwhile, Unite has set the fastest lap on the previous time around, but is some way off the front two, so he has a chunk of laps left to get this gap down. But even Botsy is struggling. Botsy really enjoys Fern Bay Gold. It's not really a surprise to see him here tonight. He does like this track. But Rick Cardle is currently the one mastering it at the moment. He has a chunky gap to his competitor behind, 1.15 seconds.
Yeah, that's comfortable so far. Since Rick got the lead, he's not let it go, but Lalarue may have gotten what he wanted here. Position over Michael, and Magic on the other side. Didn't notice Magic from the previous expectation or whatever, I can't think of the word, view of Lalarue. So Magic is making moves here as well.
Expectation.
Yeah,
good one.
Fumbled it.
It's all right. Magic there in the green, race green colour. So at least the drivers have made some effort to make this easy for us. Lalarue in purple and Michael Malik in red, going for a big dive and parking it on the apex. They're still going to have nose to tail as they come up to the chicane, and that's Teemu Soini on his 200th RTFR, currently in P20. I don't think he's going to get involved. It doesn't normally like to get involved in these big scraps, does he? He just likes to sit back and wait for everyone else to make their mistakes.
Yeah, definitely the chilled driver on the grid is Teemu.
Oh, goodness me. Sorry to interrupt. Donny has rolled it spectacularly and now retires from the race. But how on earth does that happen? He must have got up onto the grass on the previous corner, because that is quite an exposed banking. and he must have gone up there with some haste and rolled it over. So, goodness me, big crash that, and drops him from quite a good position and promotes everyone else. So yeah, Team Usoini's tactic of waiting for everyone else to fall off is working now.
Yeah, and he'll have the competition in front of him, but the battle for fourth place is on here. Luke has opened up a passing opportunity on Koivunen, with Owner wanting to join in. That's not the correct
don't
place.
Discount Owner here. Pekka didn't see him, and Owner has to slot him behind. But yeah, goodness me, Owner really took advantage of that battle, but has dropped back slightly. Yeah, out of nowhere, Rhoda praises Luke moves up to P4 and shunts Pekka Koivunen down to P5. So Pekka back where he started. Sorry, in fact, no, Pekka started 6th, didn't he? So Pekka, oh goodness me, as he goes off, and that's going to allow, that's a big hit, and that allows Owner to go through, as well as Gabor. Oh, through on the outside.
No patience necessary there. Gabor saw the last creak of light on that outside line and took it. So he takes 6th place. So Koivunen down into 7th. Thankfully able to carry on though. Here's Mover and Shaker just outside the top 10. Leandro 911. No, he's not going to get the exit we wanted out of there, but the double apex left. Still, look at Lorenzo, full throttle, able to withstand the contact. But now he's going to be undercut to a point. No, I think Leandro was blocked, and watch out for the Hitmuli as well.
Yeah, we were promised a touring car race. This is well and truly a touring car race. There's action everywhere you look, and Leandro 911 needs a good line out of the final corner. He doesn't want to run into the back of the RG car, as he does, so unfortunately there wasn't enough room for him to get the overspeed he needed, so he's going to have to find it elsewhere. Heroic brakes are not going to be the solution here. He needs to do it on the lap somewhere. But yeah, it's definitely on. Leandro's had pace all day, but he needs to find a way around the race green chicane here.
Oh, it was a close call there. It looked like one of the would have been the Hitmuli got very close to running wide on the grass there. I think it must have been. But look at this now with Lorenzo having to nail each apex here in the first sector before the run down to the bridge. That would have been really dangerous if Lorenzo slowed down in a bit of a fright, for example. But thankfully not. Leandro kept him honest. But has a chance here. Arska has vanished.
Yeah, he has
vanished from our scoreboard. That's horrible to see.
Yeah, Leandro's tactic of following nose to tail through that section is incredibly risky. Yeah, I understand that you need to pile pressure on the driver in front, but you really have to be careful because it is so easy to grab a curb, which will put you in the wall, or as Donny demonstrated, getting too high on the banking because you couldn't see the apex and then rolling it. Well, it's had the effect of compromising the latter part of his lap, in fact. Lorenzo has managed to pull a gap in quite a crucial place, because the home straight is a really nice place to effect a pass. Leandro has a look, but obviously he's 9 miles back, so he can't make that dive from there. But he does have the benefit that they're both catching Jari Katila, who could also act as a blocker on this lap. We'll have to wait and see.
Yari's advantage is 0.7 of a second over Lorenzo. That'll feel like a lot here, but with the slipstream coming up here, Leandro will get a little bit of a boost off Lorenzo's rear wing. He's gonna feel it now.
Yeah, he's gone for it. He's gone for the inside. This is a great place to make the move. He forced this pass, but compromised his entry. Lorenzo has the outside, more space, and he's able to retain it. But that was a good effort. It's nice to see the attempt. Let's see if Leandro can find anywhere else to make this move. I reckon his best shout is out of the final corner, but just give himself a bit more room entering the corner beforehand so he doesn't run into the back of Lorenzo. He just needs to start lining him up now, force him off of his line, make him uncomfortable, gives him a bit of a push. That's going to compromise his exit again, I think. So he needs to be a little bit more patient than this if he wants to get that move done.
Yeah, there's still a favourable amount of laps left, and the last one is one that will count for the points. But with Yari Katila, he's getting reeled into a point here. That is definitely not 7/10 anymore, Pete.
No, it is not. And he has got 3 cars looking pretty eager behind. Don't discount Thamuli in all this. Leandro is getting quite comfortable with the back of Lorenzo's car. As I say, it happens. Contact between the two. Leandro just, my goodness me, way too eager to get past. Impatient, and that's compromised both of their races. That was not a good attempt, and that does promote Thamuli to that position. And Lorenzo, a little bit innocent there, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Lorenzo was on the middle part of the track, which is perfectly valid for defending. Leandro, picked the outside line and just couldn't hang on. And for anyone unfamiliar with LFS physics, those tire stacks, they're very, very impactful to your car. They will send you pointing in a different direction. So Leandro actually did a super job to keep the car just about safe from a huge impact from another driver or from the barriers on the other side. So that actually does deserve a bit of a pat on the back.
Yeah, the big tyre stacks around here are not just pretty track paraphernalia. They do have mass. They are weighty things, and they will damage your car and send you across. But Lorenzo and Thamuli, well, they can count their lucky stars. They didn't get wiped out completely by Leandro rejoining. But Leandro is now out of this fight. Lorenzo has lost a place, but Thamuli wasn't catching him, so to speak. Lorenzo can, I think, maybe catch up to the back of Thamuli again. Further back, Soini has got up to the back of Michael. Let's see if Soini can make an overtake on Michael at some point. See what happens here. And these two pretty much the closest on track, so we'll stay with them for a little bit. But it is still Rick Cardle leading by just under a second to Botsy. Then we've got Unite in P3, 3.5 seconds back. Luke is 10 seconds further back than that. And then Gabor, after his off track with Fatal earlier, is currently down in P5. Owner displaced Pekka Koivunen for 6th and 7th. Then it's Rony, Magrio, and Jari Katila, your top 10. Tasca and Magic are currently in a scrap. As Tasca goes up on 2 wheels. Couldn't quite see it from that angle, but he was well up on 2 wheels there, coming through the right-hander. Owen, I would definitely rate this as one of the best mods we've seen. It's certainly given us a brilliant race. Half of the credit obviously goes down to the track as well. This track does lend itself to fantastic wheel-to-wheel battles.
Yeah, it feels like the last 2 mods back-to-back have been excellent. They've really seen the drivers been put to their paces. And indeed, the popularity speaks for itself here with the near 40 capacity grid. Obviously, we've had a few DNFs that have reduced the numbers quite drastically, but the fact that more people are willing to give it a go, I think, shows that was a handy car to get to learn, but mastering it, it's really, you can see there's small differences that can really help out the drivers. Lorenzo on the inside now getting cut back by Jari Katila. Jari using a bit of the grass just to guide the car through the first left-hander. Now we'll see if Lorenzo can make that final counter-attack. He's going to tag. Yeah, he's got to hang that car off its wheels again. He could have possibly flipped there. So good job by Jari to defend without compromising his own racing lines.
We don't normally break the fourth wall, Owen, during our broadcasts, as you know, but coming off the bridge there, that was some satisfying camera angle switching when he went for the dummy on the inside. He's currently being mugged, though, by Leandro 911, who is back on the scene and going for another big dive. Goodness me, the impatience is real here. Leandro really is sending it with everything he's got tonight. He's going to maybe get the move on Lorenzo. But he gets shoved off. My goodness me, Leandro is a firework.
Yeah, fireworks display from the LEA and the LOR prefix drivers. So Leandro finally gets what he wants, but now Magic may have seen the targeted attack by Leandro and say, I'm not impressed at all. I want a piece of you or what you've been doing to my teammate. So Lorenzo may want to initiate the first blow on the 16th lap since that side-by-side that chicane.
Yeah, I'm noticing every time that Leandro goes for a big send, he's not just using the brakes, he's using an enormous amount of engine braking and going well over the rev range, which normally damages the engine quite significantly, but this engine seems to be pretty robust. He is costing everyone around him time when he does these big sends, but it's working out for him so far. Currently P12, and he just needs to get past Yari then to get back behind the Mooley, but we are running out of laps. We only have 5 to go, or 6 to go now. Sorry, so yeah. Let's see if Leandro can make a pass without crashing into someone.
Yeah, Yari felt confident enough to just resume what he was going to do normally. Leandro is making time up here though. Bit of a skip and a jump there from Yari, but we'll now focus on the teammates. Magic has a chance really to put Lorenzo under pressure, but now check out the lead race green car. It's Rony who has got the inside overtake on Koivunen, and that is really a star showing again from Rony. Very, very good recent form for Rony, has to be said.
Yeah, Leandro's going around the outside of Yari. Yari Catilla. That has worked. Magic has managed to get past Lorenzo. Has he? Yes, he has. So 2 changes of position there, and that was a much cleaner overtake from Leandro. He's learnt the best way to get past someone. Let's see what else is going on. Tazka's managed to get past Lorenzo. So Lorenzo had a very, very bad corner, and Luke has been overtaken by Gabor. So 5 overtakes in the space of, well, about 25 seconds there. We managed to get most of them on camera as well, which is remarkable for us. But there we go. Gabor makes it up to P4 to give the Sidus quartet their lockout once again. Luke, well, let's see if he's got anything left in the barrel. But it doesn't look like it. Gabor has already opened up a bit of a gap. Can he keep it?
Yeah, there won't be a chance to lunge at Gabor here. Luke will just try his best here, braking about 75 meters. No, that's spot on by Gabor. Luke probably just a smidgen slower there. Won't feel like he did anything wrong, that's for sure, but Gabor just that little bit quicker now that he has the freedom of Fern Bay in front of him.
So what happened there? Gabor got past Luke, Rony got past Pekka Koivunen, Leandro got past Yari Catilla, and Lorenzo lost a bunch of places. Pretty entertaining. Here comes Magic as well on Yari, so going up to the double left. Let's see what he can do. He's probably going to be a bit of oversteer there, but probably wants to effect a pass on the brakes either at the next right-hander coming up just now or onto the home straight. Let's see what he goes for. Yari goes slightly defensive, showing Magic that he's not going to do this easily. But where's it going to happen? You've got to imagine it's going to happen here. Magic, extremely experienced. He'll leave himself some space for a little bit of a slipstream run as he goes up on 2 wheels. But he's still got the slipstream, well held.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone attacking the final inside curbing as heavily there as Magic did. But the courage has given him this best opportunity side by side into chicane. Unfortunately for him, Yari had the better line, but it was a good job there using the compromised entry into the chicane. It means that Magic is not out of this at all, Pete.
No, it also means that Yari isn't out of this either. That was great defending. Good effort. He could very well have just lifted off and let Magic have the position, but with 4 laps to go, Yari thought, no, you know what? I quite like P12. Here we go. He's going to have to do it again. Yari needs to keep that car all the way over to the left-hand side if he wants to defend. And Magic, will he try the switchback? No, just breaks down and he's going to try and find somewhere else to do it. Is it going to be here? Jari went a little bit slow out of the previous corner, but no, he's still got the nose ahead. Good racing from these two. Very, very clean.
Yeah, Jari's positioning in the center of the track there before the left-hander, it meant that Magic's choice to go outside, it meant that Jari could actually perhaps just point the car a little bit more to the right before braking, and it meant that Magic couldn't possibly go side by side. So that was a smart play from Jari. There won't be two-wheeled action this time for Magic, but he's just a little bit too far back on this lap.
Well, yeah, quite exactly. He's 3 laps to go, and you don't want to be that far back coming onto the home straight, so he needs to find something somewhere. Let's do a rundown. We've got Rick Cardle, who has been anonymous out front for quite a while, 1.6 seconds ahead of his Finnish teammate Botsi. Then we've got Unite, his teammate, who has closed up quite considerably over the last few laps. He is not out of this. I'm actually quite surprised by how much he's managed to close up. And then we've got Gabor, who managed to get past Luke a few laps ago. Luke currently sits in P5. There he is for Road Appraiser. Best of the rest at this point for him, so he can be pretty happy if he finishes there. Then we've got Owner, currently P6. Again, he's put on some great moves today, and it shows because he's currently in P6. Rony, he's had a climb. He was well in the, I think he started in P13 or 14. He was certainly on the right-hand column of our grid. Currently up to P7. Pekka Koivunen, well, he's dropped a couple of places, but still up there and still potentially can make a move on Rony towards the end of the race in the last 2 laps. Magrio, P9, and Thamuli for ZFRL in P10 currently. Owen, anything else going on? Anything we need to keep our eyes on while this...
I think Magic wants another crack at Jari. An outside move out of 12, that could be one of the passes of the day, to be honest. Great move.
Yeah, we caught the tail end of it. Must have been set up for quite a while, but Jari can have another go if he wants here. He's got the slipstream, he moves to the right. Magic doesn't defend it until very late, and Jari just has to brake just ever so slightly later, and he'll have this. He does, keeps the car on the inside, but too much steering input there a little bit. Wasn't able to keep the inside line and force Magic wide. So I think that is written, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, followed the lead car for the moment. It's really that exit from turns 6 and 7. That's the difference maker. Every other corner should be comfortable now. That looked really uncomfortable for Jari, and he's lost time. And Tazga will have seen that. He'll know there's a chance here.
Yeah, as soon as that happens, you just end up kind of dropping. Leandro is having a look at Thamuli. Let's keep an eye on this. Our firecracker of this race, if you want to call him that. Leandro 911 for Furtive Junior is giving Thamuli something to think about here. He's going to the outside. He's going to try and compromise Thamuli's line into this right-hander, and then pick up the pieces later on. Thamuli will cover the inside here. Yeah, he does that. Leandro needs to now back off and give himself a bit of room to get the slipstream down the home straight. That's something he hasn't managed thus far while we've been watching him. A very early out onto the right-hand side, and that might be enough, Owen. He might have managed this time.
Yeah, that nose of Leandro's is ahead. Oh, he thought he must have just lagged for a split second, and that would have completely ruined his thought into heading into that hairpin. And I think credit must go to the Thamuli as well. He realised just about what had happened, and Leandro justifiably is in front. He did the move properly, but it was just that moment. And now Fatal, who has refused to give in, going for the ultimate send there. And Tazka also is involved here, so that's really terrifying stuff. Yeah, Fatal doesn't want his pole position to be completely discarded. He wants to recover as best he can. Lorenzo on the outside. Jari's going to get bumped. Oh, goodness me, and we've missed. I've missed the victory.
You missed the finish.
It was spotted on the broadcast, so.
Yeah, I admire your commentary to the death there, Owen. But yeah, you did miss it, but they were so far ahead that I do not blame you, and we are going to miss, I'm sure, some pretty frantic action down the order, but we have to cover it. Rick Cardle wins the race ahead of Botsi and Unite and Gabor. A pretty easy 1, 2, 3, 4 for those guys. Gabor had to work a little bit harder than everyone else there. It's road appraisers Luke who comes across the line in P5, Owner P6, Rony P7, Pekka Koivunen P8, and then goodness knows what's going to happen further down because it all changed on the final lap. McGreO very, very flamboyantly finishes in P9. We've got a car.
Oh my goodness, what is going on? Magic.
I don't understand what happened there. Magic
Was competing for position, but just decided to slow down.
Don't understand what's happened this afternoon in certain respects. McGreO P9, Leandro 911 with the cleanest overtake he's made all day. I don't think there was any contact with Thamuli in that one. But anyway, he gets up to P10, so a well-deserved P10 in the end for him. Thamuli P11 then, Lorenzo P12, Tazka P13, Fatal, after starting on pole position, finishes all the way down in P14. He'll be the most disappointed person on the grid, I'm sure. Then we've got Magic in P15, the world-class liners duo of Yari and Timu Soini, who finishes his 200th race. Lalaru, P18, Michael in P19, Simjintas 20th, Motta Makari 21st, Mies 22nd, and Denialator in P23. I believe we've just got one more car. Here it is. Oh no, that car has already finished. So that is everything. Owen, let's run down the order one more time once we get the confirmed details. But there is Rick Cardle aloft his podium of victory. The victory lane at Rony's Tuesday Fun Race belongs to Rick Cardle this time out. A very, very nice drive indeed. And yeah, as I mentioned, let's get those results on screen and confirm that he is the winner in 32 minutes, 33 seconds, and 38 hundredths, I guess. Unite took the fastest lap. He finishes P3 behind his teammate Botsy, but ahead of Gabor, who had a pretty tough outing today. Dropped back at the beginning with that contact with Fatal. We will have a look at that in post to see just what happened, because it did look like a bit of a kill, let's be honest. Then we've got Luke in P5, Owner P6, Rony P7, Koivunen, McGreO, and Leandro 911, rounding out our top 10. Oh, what a great race. That was, well, we didn't stop talking, did we, for half an hour?
No, there was barely a moment to take a breath there. Hopefully the drivers, if there are any tempers flaring with some of the incidents on track, they can hopefully just take a moment themselves just to process it all. But yeah, it's just a case where every driver had a chance to shine. Obviously, there were times that some would want to forget. But there you go. Fantastic quality of pure touring car chaos today, Pete.
Yeah, touring car chaos is certainly one way to summarise that, Owen. But yeah, I think we are going to try and load up a replay of the incident. We're just trying to find out where it was on the replay, and we'll load that up, and we'll get a look and see what happened between Gabor and Fatal. I think it's a big enough issue that we should show it again in all its glory, Owen.
Yeah, I'd love to see this back just to confirm exactly what happened.
So yeah, Owen, there's quite a lot to be talked about after this race. Obviously, the mod, I think we can say very firmly was a great success, but we should also give attention to the bottom half of the grid that we didn't cover during our results. We had Motta Makari, LG Mies, and Denialator finishing, and then Tatayem, Lurcy, Bananas, Ask a Doctor, Nalu Luca, T-Bug, Mikhailo, Yefremov, Tallenberg, Texas, and Donny are DNS. Goodness me, I don't think that number for Donny is entirely correct. I think he survived a few more laps than that. But anyway, we will see what's going on with that later on. But yeah, it was a fantastic race, Owen, and I think you'll agree the car was a success.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up to the car. It really showed a great performance today. It was good in the corners, great acceleration for the modest horsepower, and it took a fair few dings and scrapes as well, and was able to keep going in many cases. Absolutely. We're just going to fire up this replay and get a look at what happened throughout the first couple of laps. We'll just see what on earth went down. Well, it was quite the incident, it has to be said. So bear with us. We'll be back in just a moment's time.
Okay, we're back, and I think we have, we can show on the stream, a slow-mo. And who do we have there? Well, we've got Gabor in the background there.
Yeah,
We can
Rick
switch
is
to him
leading
now.
at this point, yeah.
Yeah, there he is. So we have Gabor. This was on lap 2, I believe. And you can see Fatal. Well, Fatal's going to give him a bit of a nudge here to push him off the track. So Fatal gets up on the curb. Well, he's on the grass now, and he should be on the brakes. Can you see his brake lights? His brake lights were on, and then they were off, and then they were on, and then that's what happened. And then obviously, Unite completely wipes him out. So there was a bit of cadence braking going on for Gabor, but it is what it is, and accidents happen. So we just have to accept that there was. We hope there was no malice involved, of course. We don't want to see that, but yeah, that was what happened, Owen. What do you make of it again after seeing it again?
Yeah, I think that curb on the inside definitely unsettled Fatal's car. And then Gabor was sent onto the grass rather quickly. And then I suppose his choice was to send the car into a drift. Just hoping against all hope that he would be able to follow the track as he rejoined. But just unfortunately, the opportunity for Fatal to take the corner himself was taken away. So it was a bit of a racing incident, in my opinion.
We love a bit of drama here. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thanks for tuning into Sim Broadcasts once again. If you like the stream, please like and subscribe and follow all of our outlets. It would be greatly appreciated. We appreciate you for watching today. Thanks, of course, to the drivers. We give them a hard time, but we couldn't be here without them either. So we really appreciate it. Thanks again to Rony for organising the series and to World Class Lines for sponsoring. Owen, thanks to you for joining me in the commentary box, and of course Chris in the background for giving us updates on the situation out on track. Without him, we wouldn't be able to give you up-to-date info on all the goings on. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you at the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.
So long.